Hi and welcome back to the Review Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is my review for Season 3 of The Umbrella Academy. Very excited to talk about it. This is a non-spoiler, talking about all 10 episodes. Thanks to Netflix for giving us the episodes to review. Let's jump in. After putting a stop to the 1963's doomsday, the Umbrella Academy returned home to the present, convinced they prevented the initial apocalypse and fixed this godforsaken timeline once and for all. But after a brief moment of celebration, they realized things aren't exactly how they left them at all. So if you've seen any of the trailers, you'll know that our Umbrella Academy meet the Sparrow Academy, and they realize very quickly that they're not in their own, well, not in the original timeline, or not in the timeline like it was for them. There seems to be this, not younger, but just better equipped, better at themselves. It's like a glass reflection of who they could have been. More trained. The Sparrows seem to be able to harness their abilities, their different abilities, not exactly like you'd expect them to be, slightly different and unique, and that was fun to see. And immediately these two families clash, even though they're very similar, they're very different in other ways, and it looks like the Umbrella Academy looks like they're basically the underdogs in this new universe, and that is kind of the story that it starts with. What I loved about Season 3 was how it harkens back to the original arc. There are moments and plot devices that it calls back to like it was always planned. You get some TV series and movies, like in series, that sometimes just don't reference their earlier content, like it wasn't planned or puzzled out, like Lost. This one feels like, yeah, they had this in mind all the time and it fits in very well. I have to say, I think this was the best season. Better than the first one. I liked the second one, but I was thoroughly entertained. I was worried that the 10 hours were going to be too long, because there's a lot of Netflix series that even 8 and 6 sometimes just feel long in the tooth, and you never know with the third season going into it, do they still have it? Is it as unique and fun as it originally was? But because they've drawn on what has happened in season 1 and 2, they've really worked out the kinks of what worked and what didn't work, and this time it feels like they've taken all the best bits of what worked. The quirky dialogue, the bantering between the family, the dysfunctional family, yet is probably the better family because they've gone through so much in the first 2 seasons. That works a lot in this. And so we have this overarching arc that we want to know more about what Father is up to. We want to know, because we've seen little bits of information kind of thrown at us about Father. We want to know what he's about. We want to know what's going on in this world, what happened, what is the cause of them being in this earth. We want to know all that. But really it comes down to what's going on with our individual characters. So we get Diego and Layla, and what's going on with them is very interesting. They're often the heart of the series, which I wasn't expecting. We have really good emotional moments that I wasn't expecting. Like, it really draws on the character. We get great background story. Even though we've had a lot more, we get to know the new characters. And very quickly, it feels like these guys have always been a part of the series, the new Sparrow team. Even though it kind of leans towards you not liking them because you are on the Umbrella's Academy side. But as the story starts developing, these two families are kind of pushed together and they have to fight the new big bad. There's an entity that is threatening the universe, and so they kind of have to work together. But how is that going to work when they hate each other and basically want to kill each other? There's also moments in the series where we jump back into the past, and it kind of goes, like I mentioned, harking back to the original series or things that have happened, and it pulls it into the storyline that works so well. And so there are threads that have been pulled that you probably wouldn't have thought that would have been pulled. Characters come back that you probably didn't think were going to come back. And it just really feels like, oh, this is the puzzle piece that's going to fit in this corner, and this is the puzzle piece that's going to fit in that corner. And when it comes to that 10th episode, everything has fit so well. Now, we are getting a season 4, which I was surprised by. But there is it's a crescendo of a season. Like, it doesn't feel like it's just a stopgap for season 4. There's a proper story. It builds and builds and builds, and then that 10th episode is going to blow your mind. And again, the effects are great. I feel like when you see the special effects, you're going to be like, yeah, that's damn good. The action, again, is leveled up to, just feeling like in every episode there's a decent amount of action. The pacing is one of the things I really loved about this series. I remember thinking to myself in season 2, I like where they're going and they're giving backstory to the characters, but it really feels like they slowed down the pace. They do that in this season, but somehow manage to keep the pacing exciting, keep it going. There's an action sequence, the way it's broken up leads you onto wanting to watch the next episode. So every time you finish an episode, you desperately want to go and finish the next one. And those emotional moments come down to some really great tight dialogue and the actors once again delivering. You feel like they are totally brother and sister, or have gone through all these things that they've gone through together. And so by the time they get to that massive big episode, the 10th episode, which I would love to talk about but I can't, you're totally on board for what's going to happen, on the edge of your seat stuff. I was blown away by this season. Each of the characters that we get to see really do have a defined path, but are part of that puzzle. I keep coming back to that puzzle because I love the way the pacing and the story unfold and kind of fits together wonderfully. There is much more to come, and there's a little kind of clip at the end of, not the end of the credits, but the story's finished, the credits have started rolling, kind of mid-screen credits, and you get to see a little bit of, hey, here's a character, you might know who that is. No spoilers. And you do wonder what's happening at the end. I know there's probably going to be tons of videos going, ending explained, and this is what that means. I don't think anybody really knows, because we've kind of gone away from, I guess, the comic books now. I'm trying to think of how much I've read. I don't remember this part in them. So let me know your thoughts down below. What you're excited to see. I really loved what they've done with the characters. I wasn't sure which way they were going to go and whether what it was even going to work. But between the special effects, the tight dialogue, and the really great acting, you care about the characters and the journey they go on. So when we get the great action sequences, you were there for them. Gonna give this 5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. Really looking forward to everybody seeing this. I want to hear you guys down in the comments below. What was your favorite moment in season 3? Who was your favorite character? Were you emotionally engaged? There's one particular part I'm thinking of that got me. Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.